miss me in my very interesting LSAT prep sessions. I know, I missed you as well. So I'm going into sufficient and necessary conditions. I'm 1% complete. Hey, no, I'm more than 6 minutes. I'm 40 something minutes in on only statements right now. That's why I paused last night. It died on me, but I was just like tired, and I was like, it's like about to be 4. It was 4 o'clock in the morning when I got off, so I stopped. But you know, we back into with the flow of it. We're gonna finish this video today with no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And today I'm not pulling the couch out because y'all see what happened when I pulled out that couch. Shorty, like, that thing just said, that thing was me. I was the thing in question. I said, I went to sleep because the couch was cozy. Are you kidding? Oh, FYI, I got these very beautiful yellow pillows coming in. I love the blue. My mom definitely gave the idea of the pop of yellow. She pulled the thought right out of my head. I was thinking about it, but she brought it to life. So yellow will give the room some really good dimension. And yeah, so hopefully when I graduate from, you know, here, I'm able to effectively grow in my music career, and from there, because my main goal, okay, everyone, yes, I'm about to do my sufficient and necessary conditions, but I want you to know my main goal is for me to be a mogul, show that you can be multidimensional. And so once I get my business master's, I'm able to go into the game with some actual valuable information of understanding business and having a business mindset. And that was always one of my goals, to function me being my business of me being an artist like an actual business, legally, as a legally recognized entity, and have actual money to invest into it. And so, and having a team and just understanding the support networks that I'll have. And even though like I'm myself as a team, I need to have people that are looking to see my growth and my progression. And then from there, when I want to simmer down those things, I will go into law school. That's my thing. Like, I thought it was just straight after, but it's like, how can you be a performing artist and do law school? And it's more so, I need to live and execute that successful content creation of the journey for both law school. I mean, it's going to be expensive in the long run at the end, but if I'm able to financially and feasibly clear out my previous student debts, and then I can go on into law school from there, whether if it's directly in Florida or out of state, whatever the case may be, I'm looking to just get that score that I really worked hard for and I really desired. And so that's what this commitment of my LSAT prep right now is about. And so eventually I'll go in and I'll replace this live video series that I'm doing now that really nobody joins, unless if they join just randomly, they see me talking about it. I guess they see it on their page and they click it, which I thank you all for. But it is not only really for y'all, it's for me. And so for me to be able to learn and understand where it is that I was and where it is that I want to be. And that is just something I can have so much immense gratitude for. And so without further ado, we're all 45 minutes into it. And we have a total of 2 hours and 41 minutes as a whole to complete. So we got a good chunk of the beginning out the way. And so today we're going to focus on getting the rest of this executed. So God bless you. If you're watching, I won't probably be able to interact if you're commenting. But, you know, I have to be easy on myself and be easy with my work ethic and my ability and my commitment. And considering my situation, my family scenario, being first generation, God loving me as I am and no flaws included, I just understand that every day is a learning process and my heart is being matured, and I'm just grateful. And I couldn't be any more grateful. I'm actually doing a gratitude journal that I love so very much that I'm able to just be thankful for. And I'm just thankful for life. I'm thankful for being able to admit when I didn't like what I was doing with myself, and I'm able to hold myself accountable for the things that I want. It's like law of attraction in a way, like everything that you're doing towards your journey, it counts. And everything that you're doing that isn't towards the journey also counts as well. So you gotta weigh out your options. And honestly, I would say always choose what's for your journey, because at the end of the day, that's what pulls you closer to God within you, by doing what you say you're gonna do and what God knows you're able to do. And people that pay attention to detail, if you haven't noticed, my purple pencil, the eraser kept coming loose because I guess I kept erasing and it started to fly everywhere. So now I'm back with my regular Bic lead pencil, which will still do the job at the end of the day. But yeah. So enough of my yapping. We're just gonna go into our only if statements. And me yapping is a form of me being nervous, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Y'all know I was nervous. Y'all know I'm a black girl. Y'all know there's people that come on these lives and literally to tell me like, you're not gonna do well, you're not gonna do that, you're gonna get a 146 the most. Well, thank you. Like literally, quite literally, thank you. Because the grade I took before this was terrible when I actually took the LSAT, I hope you know. And if that didn't kill me and I'm still alive here, I can only climb for better. And so that's the outlook I go out into my social world and this world here to effectively execute. So without further ado, let's continue. Long-winded introduction like usual. It wouldn't be me without the long-winded introduction.
Only if, only when, and only where.
And I changed to my iPad from the computer just because I found this more feasible.
Very well.
And use the computer as a...
Only statements. So now, only by itself introduces a necessary condition. The other part of the statement is sufficient. So, only introduces necessary. Only God can judge me. So we know that only introduces necessary. So God here is going to be our necessary condition. The other part of the statement is going to be the sufficient condition, which is judgment. So again, God would be necessary, judge me would be sufficient. Therefore, you are not God, can't judge me.
Clock
Now
it.
let's look at an important distinction. The other part of the statement is
You know, once I got the glasses on, we really in the game. I wish I was able to clean it first. I want to get new lenses eventually. I feel like these are scratched up with a little bit. I feel I know. At least I can see. Oh wow. Honestly, I can see. It doesn't have to be 100% crystal HD clear. All those little things in the things does bother me, but we got work to do. I'm honestly just being lazy. I literally have in my bag to clean it. And this is what do they want to diagnose me with? Is it ADHD? I honestly don't care. I'm cleaning my glasses so I can see better. I'm gonna work very much more effectively because 9 times out of 10 the people that are telling me that, you know, my study habits are wrong or whatever the case, like can't focus, they wouldn't dare touch an LSAT. So I'm gonna do as God allows me. And I just clean my glasses. And then I'm gonna focus. I have faith and I 100% believe I'll focus. And you know that phone that just did that vibrating? thing important. Not one thing important. That was an Outlook email from school, but it was not school exactly. But it'll get it done. So hopefully they don't come bothering me. Since I wanted to get it done, focus. I definitely do want to do vlogs today, like a YouTube video. I don't know if it's gonna be fitness, but it's definitely gonna be, it's gonna be fun. I remember when I used to literally like do Pilates and dance class. And that was my whole thing. Like every time I picked up a camera, I was like, okay, this is great content. This is worthy content. This is what they need to see. And it was like, wow, when I grew up, me growing up, I'm literally still doing that same thing. I find that pretty cool and valuable to the journey in the story. Everything refines itself because success is indeed a strategy. I think I look really cute today. And to vlog that would be pretty worthy viewing content. But that's after this, of course. Maybe I'll cook. Yeah, I love a good cooking YouTube video, so I'll do that. And maybe like me building. Once I get my table up. Once my stuff comes in the mail, I think that'll be pretty decent content that you will all probably really enjoy. Wait, where's the pencil? So right now I had to pause the video because I knew I wanted to write these out effectively. I wish I still had my clipboard, but it was all broken, so I had to throw it out. I could have put it on and I would be able to write effectively. I'll get another clipboard. I don't need one. I have a clipboard in my pink folder over in there. I really don't need one right now. This is working just fine. Or I can use a folder. Because too heavy. Only God can judge me. We know that judge me. We know that God is necessary and judge me is sufficient. So judge me, God. And without God, you cannot judge me. Judge me is sufficient. God is necessary for you to judge me. Not for you, but only for his judgment. He's obviously necessary if he's the only one that can do it. And he just spoke of this as well.
Only statements. So now, only by itself introduces a necessary condition. The other part of the statement is sufficient. So, only introduces necessary. Only God can judge me. So we know that only introduces necessary. So God here is going to be our necessary condition. The other part of the statement is going to be the sufficient condition, which is judgment. So again, God will be necessary, judge me will be sufficient. Therefore, you are not God, you can't judge me. But now let's look at an important distinction. The idea of only versus the only. So again, we know only by itself introduces necessary. We just saw that. Only God can judge me. God followed only, so God was our necessary condition. However, when we have the only, we have a different rule. The only actually introduces a sufficient condition. So let's take a look here, just to make sure this is clear. So, only vegetables are carrots. So again, we know only by itself introduces necessary. So vegetables would be our necessary condition. And the other part of the statement, carrot would be sufficient. So if you are not a vegetable, you are not carrot, possible. However, notice the difference when we have the only. The only now introduces a sufficient condition. So vegetables is going to be sufficient, whereas the other part of the statement is now going to be our necessary condition, carrots. If you are not a carrot, you are not a vegetable. Obviously, we know that that's not true. But this example is to show you the difference between only and the. So be very careful, because only by the only.
They could close the door and we can all that noise. I ain't gonna lie. I could go to the business center, but I don't know if people there get booked up and that transition. And I can, but I'll just wait till the video is done. If it gets too overbearing, then I'll go. Yeah. Only vegetables are carrots. Vegetables is necessary, sufficient is carrots. Carrots to vegetables. I didn't hear his explanation for
Vegetables are carrots. So again, we know only by itself introduces necessary. So vegetables would be our necessary condition. And the other part of the statement, carrots would be sufficient. So if you're not a vegetable, you are not carrot, possible. However, notice the difference when we have the only. The only now introduces a sufficient condition. So vegetables is going to be sufficient, whereas the other part of the statement now would be our necessary condition, carrots. So if you are not a carrot, you are not a vegetable. Obviously, we know that that's not true. But this example is to show you the difference between only and the.
Only vegetables. Vegeta. It makes me think of literally makes me think of Goku and Naruto. What's Naruto? Whatever, I think it's Naruto. Not Naruto, it's Goku. Where you got Vegeta, and he's so strong. It makes me think like if you eat your vegetables, you'll be just as strong as Vegeta. Why was that necessary? No reason, but it was definitely sufficient for my self-thinking, my self-thought.
So be very careful, because only by itself introduces necessary, whereas the only vegetables is going to be sufficient, whereas the other part of the statement is now going to be are necessary condition, carrots. So if you are not a carrot, you are not a vegetable. Obviously, we know that that's not true. But this example is to show you the difference between only and the only. So be very careful because only by itself introduces necessary, whereas the only introduces sufficient. So one word there, the, completely changes the logical meaning of the sentence. So be aware of that difference.
The only introduces sufficient. Only introduces necessary.
Page brings us to if and only if statements. So now, if and only if indicates that each variable is both a sufficient and a necessary condition. If and only if is diagrammed with a double arrow. Alright, so let's take a look at an example here. You are a brother if and only if you are a male sibling. Notice if and only if, and now again we know that this means
It is really not effective to study on your couch because then you start getting sleepy. Let me just finish what I
each
can.
variable page.
I might just get to an hour and crash and take a nap and wake
And
up.
only if statements. So now, if and only if indicates that each variable is both a sufficient and a necessary condition. If and only if is diagrammed with a double arrow. Alright, so let's take a look at an example here. You are a brother if and only if you are a male sibling. Notice if and only if, and now again we know that this means each variable is both a sufficient and a necessary condition. What are our variables here? Brother and male sibling. So now each is sufficient and each is necessary. So brother, sufficient, brother, necessary. Male sibling, necessary, male sibling, sufficient. That is the idea of the double arrow. Here, reversing it is okay because each is sufficient, each is necessary, right? Contrapositives, if you are not a male sibling, you are not a brother. If you are not a brother, you are not a male sibling. And note, if but only if is diagrammed just like if and only if, again, the double arrow, both sufficient, both necessary. This page brings us to if and only if statements. So now, if and only if indicates that each variable is both a sufficient and a necessary condition. If and only if is diagrammed with a double arrow. Alright, so let's take a look at an example here. You are a brother if and only if you are a male sibling. Notice if and only if, and now again we know that this means each variable is both a sufficient and a necessary condition. What are our variables here? Brother and male sibling.
You can do both.
So now
Your brother, your male
each
sibling.
is
Your male sibling, your brother.
sufficient and each is necessary. So brother, sufficient, brother, necessary. Male sibling, necessary, male sibling, sufficient. That is the idea of the double arrow. Here, reversing it is okay because each is sufficient, each is necessary, right? Contrapositives, if you are not a male sibling, you are not a brother. If you are not a brother,
brother. But not a
And
brother.
no, if but only if is diagrammed just like if and only if, again, the double arrow, both sufficient, both necessary.
If but only if. Diagram just like if and only if.
Turning the page. All statements, which we've seen already when we discussed all carrots are vegetables, all introduces a sufficient condition. The other part of the statement is the necessary condition. So again, all humans are mammals. We notice all introduces sufficient, so humans would be sufficient. The other part of the statement, mammals, would be necessary. So humans are sufficient for mammals, necessary, contra positive. If you are not a mammal, you are not human. Every is diagrammed just like all. So we know all introduces sufficient, so then every introduces sufficient. Every triangle has 3 sides, and we know every treated just like all introduces sufficient, so triangle is sufficient. The other part of the statement, 3 sides, is our necessary condition. So you are a triangle, you have 3 sides. Contra positive, if you don't have 3 sides, you are not a triangle. Moving on.
I ain't gonna lie. I only made it 5 minutes. I gotta go to bed. And I'll come to you when I'm doing the actual questions. Because I'm tired. And it has a lot to do with where I'm sitting. And them freaking banging and waking me up in the morning. And I know they're doing their job. It's necessary for us to be sufficient for him. Yeah, no, I mean. Oh, you bring it back.
Turning the page. All statements, which we've seen already when we discussed all carrots are vegetables, all introduces a sufficient condition. The other part of the statement is the necessary condition. So again, all humans are mammals. We notice all introduces sufficient, so humans would be sufficient. The other part of the statement, mammals, would be necessary. So humans are sufficient for mammals, necessary, contra positive. If you are not a mammal, you are not human. Every is diagrammed just like all. So we know all introduces sufficient, so then every introduces sufficient. Every triangle has 3 sides, and we know every treated just like all introduces sufficient, so triangle is sufficient. The other part of the statement, 3 sides, sides. Contrapositive, if you don't have 3 sides, you are not trying. Moving on, each is diagrammed just like all and every. Introduces sufficient. So each rectangle has 4 right angles. Each, again, introduces sufficient.
I'm actually tired. I'll come back to y'all when I'm done with my nap because girl gotta get her beauty sleep, you know, so she can effectively do her work. I'll do a YouTube video later. And, you know, be sure to subscribe and watch later. Love you, bye.